1 year ago today, this whole nightmare began.
Welcome to Crocs in the Kitchen.
I'm Jessica.
And I am Brian. I actually had to think about that for a second.
It's been a while.
Because it's been a while. We do apologize for not having been on here and not having really updated anything. If you guys have messaged us though, I have responded on Facebook to people and I have commented on a few comments on YouTube just to let everybody know that we're still alive.
Yeah,
know?
It's not like some crazy major bad thing happened that caused us to stay away. Like, you know, it's not like we got some really bad news or something like that. It's been a combination of things, honestly. And the last couple of months haven't been great. Mm-hmm. They've been very challenging for us. I have been having, you know, while getting over some of the physical symptoms of my surgery, I have had a lot of mental health issues. Mm-hmm. I've been battling a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, and I could do a whole other video just on what I've been going through for that. But I'll probably share just a little bit in bits and pieces throughout this video, kind of what's been going on with me. But I think it's one of those things where we kind of, the longer we were away, the harder it was for us to just sit down and make a video. Yeah. Every time that I've literally tried to sit down and either think about making a video, think about even making a few sentence update to like Instagram or something like that, I get like paralyzed. Yeah. It's a mix of like anxiety, fear. It's a whole thing going on.
Yeah. And it was extremely tough just for me because, you know, I got to see this all unfolding inside of her. And so the simple fact that we are doing this video today is a massive accomplishment on Jessica's part.
Yeah, throughout the day, we've been driving all day. We're in Rochester, by the way, back up in Rochester, Minnesota. And we just drove, 8 hours or whatever? Well, you drove. I didn't do any driving. True. And the entire time I was like, oh, we need to film. And then I kept talking myself out of it. And I never want to do anything that is inauthentic. I never want to force myself to do. So like, I want to come on here and apologize because I do feel bad. But at the same time, I also know that I just needed the time for myself. I wish that I was better at communicating when I need that time and not being in denial a lot of times. So then it's like, oh, we'll do it next week. We'll do it next week. We'll do it next week. And then before you know it, it's been a few months and I feel bad that there's people out there worrying about us. Mm-hmm. So it's a mix of emotions, but believe me, we just appreciate everybody and we appreciate everybody who's reached out, everybody who's sent us well wishes, and all of that. All
the comments that you guys are still doing on YouTube. You guys have been amazing. And I know some of you are probably thinking, well, Brian, why didn't you do some updates? Well, this channel is such a collaborative effort between the two of us that I didn't want to burden her with anything of the sort as far as like stacking more things onto her, even if they were just minute things. My entire job over the last couple of months here was just taking care of her, just taking care of whatever she needed and just trying to facilitate that, whether it's taking care of the dogs, whether it's making food, whether it's, you know, trying to do whatever chores around the house that I can do, you know, just whatever she needed me to be during that time, that's what I was trying to be. And like I said, I didn't want to burden you with anything of the sort. So
yeah, so
we do apologize.
We suck. I just, you know, I couldn't have imagined what I've gone through in the last couple of months, like what we've gone through collectively. I feel like every step of this journey, this nightmare that started 1 year ago today, I feel like there's little pieces of it that I forget about, and then I'll think about them and I'll be like, oh yeah, remember when we went through that and how we thought that was the worst thing ever? And then it just like something else happened and it was even worse, and something else happened and it was even worse. So again, we haven't gotten, at this point, we don't have any updates on what's going on in my body as far as any, cancer or any of that stuff goes. The latest update for like health-wise for me was the latest update that we gave you on our last video. We don't really have too much other news than that, but that's why we're back in Rochester, because tomorrow I am having a CT scan and some blood work, and then we will meet with my doctors on Thursday. So tomorrow's Wednesday, and then Thursday we'll meet with the doctor. So we are nervous. I wasn't actually too scared. The last few weeks, like I've been like, okay, it's gonna be fine. But the last few days, some symptoms that I've been having have kind of like been triggering me a bit, because it's reminding me of how I felt when this whole thing started, which May 2nd, 2022 was the day that I had pain that started and I noticed something wasn't right. And then that's what got the whole ball rolling for me to go and end up, by the end of May, I was in the ER and then ended up having the surgery where we found out that I had the cancer. So it's like, is my brain trying to trick me? And like, am I really feeling these things? But I'm really physically feeling some certain symptoms. I actually thought, I went to the doctor this morning because I've had some of the symptoms that I've had. I frequent, this is like TMI for some people probably, but more frequent urge to urinate, and also a little bit of pain when I do. Those are some things that kind of were red flags early on when this whole thing started, and a little bit of pain like on the left side. So I can kind of feel those symptoms. And so I'm almost wondering if I'm going back into having hydronephrosis. I can never say that word correctly.
Hydronephrosis.
I can never say that word correctly, but it's basically where there's an issue where with your ureter, and fluid backs up into your kidneys. The ureter connects the kidneys with the bladder. So an issue with that, which, if you've been following our journey, that was one of the main things. My tumor had been growing around my ureter and causing a bunch of issues there. So now I'm freaking out, like, okay, is this gonna be something with that? Are they gonna find something in the CT scan? Is there another tumor? Like, now all those questions have been bouncing through my head during our entire drive up here today.
Yeah, but like she said, this morning we actually went to her doctor, her OBGYN.
Yeah, in St. Louis.
In St. Louis, before we drove up to Rochester. And they did some tests and stuff and ruled out a couple of the typical things. Yeah,
they ruled out, like they did a urine test and ruled out like a UTI, probably not. They did a swab. They're testing to see if it might be like a yeast infection of some sort. And these are all things that are more common in women who are going through menopause. So I'm sitting here the last few weeks with some symptoms, kind of thinking, oh, it's probably just menopause, it's post-surgery, it's whatever. And now my brain is starting to think, oh gosh, what if it's not? What if it's something else? So you need to talk me off that ledge.
Well, I mean, I would normally have done that a bit more, but I was driving and all that kind of stuff today. But I know I have been praying a lot, and my prayers are always the same for the most part, which are that we go in and they do these scans and everything is fine. And, whatever issue that you're currently having is some just minor thing, and all that. And like, that's just what I keep hoping and praying for. And I believe that, the scans aren't going to come back with anything serious tomorrow. I really believe that.
Okay.
I do. I honestly believe that.
Okay. Good vibes.
Like, I mean, I tell you though, before, like, my vibes on this haven't exactly been like stellar, but I still hold out hope that everything is going to be just fine for you and for us and all of that. But yeah. I mean, let's face it, you've gone through hell this year. This last year. And I mean, I have been with you every step of this way. I know that our love has grown way deeper in the last year. Our relationship has grown way stronger, and I'm here. And in fact, after we left your mother this morning, and she was crying, I gave her a hug and I told her, I got her. And I stand by that. I've got you. Okay?
Yeah.
And we're going to be fine.
In some ways, I do feel like with everything that we've gone through over the last year, it's like, what else can you throw at us? You know, what more hurdles can we cross? But like, I just keep thinking like, I just want to feel normal. Like, I don't want to be sitting here and feeling like, yep, okay, there's weird pain here, there's something here, there's this here. My foot, my neuropathy pain has still been ongoing, although it has improved a ton.
Yeah.
My hands are back to complete normal. My left foot is getting there. I can definitely feel it getting back to normal. It is so much better. But I was on really high doses of gabapentin, and I feel like that kind of also did not help my depression, and I ended up getting off of that, but the foot pain still like was better, so that was good. But it's just like one hurdle after another, and it's just, I just want to clear all the hurdles and just be able to stand there and not feel my body, if that makes sense. Like not feel anything. Yeah. Nothing feels weird. Like I want to get to that point where I just feel, and just how many years of my life, like 35, 36 plus, I guess more than 36 years of my life, I took for granted the fact that I could just exist and not like have all these issues. And like, it's hard to explain unless you've been through chronic pain and that kind of stuff. But don't take for granted just being able to feel like normal.
It's that feeling that your body has betrayed you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you didn't start off with something basic like I did, where the first sense of my body betrayal was when I hurt my back that one time. And I was just like, no, it's like, my body is not supposed to do this. It is not supposed to be this way. I was, you know, mid-30s or whatever. And I was like, this is stupid. You went straight for like the hardcore stuff of body betrayal.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
You know.
But I think that...
But you got a lot going for you right now,
yeah,
still. I mean, you're doing
a heck of a lot of...
Look at her hair, everybody.
It's doing its thing.
It's getting the curls. Like,
it is doing whatever it wants to do, and I don't have any control over it.
Yeah, she tries to brush it sometimes, and it just... It doesn't...
It's looking okay today.
It's looking pretty decent
because I combed it when it was wet. Like
the funny part though is whenever she like gets out of the shower and she just dries it off, and then she doesn't do anything with it, because she was normally like that. You know, before when she had longer hair, she would never like dry her hair immediately. She'd like sort of let it naturally dry. When she does it now, it like poofs up a bit more, and it's like it's hilarious.
And then if I'm like,
and if you brush it right, you can make it look like stripes. Like silvery, I call them tiger stripes.
It's definitely lighter in color than it was before.
Yeah, but you're getting way more of it now.
There's more gray.
You're looking good, kid.
But yeah, so there's just a lot that we could talk about of what's been going on the last couple of months. So again, maybe we'll touch on those probably in like future videos. I think actually we might just leave it at this for this video.
I think so, especially since we're, you know, getting up there on the time.
And then we can give you guys another update like in a few days once we promise we won't make you wait super long once I get my scans and stuff like that. I feel like once we just get back to posting, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's just like one of those things.
Once you get over that first one.
Yeah, it's like trying to ride a bike again. You just have to like, which is also...
Which was the start of all of this.
Yeah, if you don't know the story, we got bikes on May 1st last year, and May 2nd is when my pain started. So whatever I did on that bike, potentially those saved my life.
True,
because
very true.
It alerted us to the fact that there was something going on in my body, because before that I had no clue that there was anything going on. And then I started having this pain, and it turned out, hey, by the way, there's a tumor growing inside of you.
We still have those bikes, and we're gonna ride them.
But it is kind of like riding a bike again. It's like it's like posting videos. It's like once we get back into it, but like the fear that you build up. If you have anxiety, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't do something for so long, like you don't go out, like, you know, over COVID and stuff like that, with people like staying at home and getting like even you know, I even have noticed that I have a fear because I haven't been alone for the last year. I haven't really driven myself. Like, he's been driving me to like all my appointments and, you know, when I went through surgeries and chemo and all that and like medications that I was on that was preventing me from driving. So I haven't been even just like grocery shopping and out in the world by myself. And I'm having like this anxiety and fear over that, over just feeling like, because I have such an attachment of just being with him all the time.
And the only times I've ever left her alone, she was at the house. So she wasn't like by herself somewhere else.
So I've been really struggling, but I think it's one of those things, just like posting videos, that once you just need to like immerse yourself in it and do it. And then you get over the fear and be like, oh yeah, by the way, that wasn't that bad and it was fine. And you know, people aren't going to like throw rocks at us because we're like, we've disappeared again or whatever. But anyway, I know you guys all get it. I know you guys understand. I know that every comment that we get like worried about us is out of love. And we really do appreciate it.
Yes, we absolutely do. We love all of you guys. We love all the messages, all the comments, all the prayers. To the few people that we actually ran into when we were out and about doing something. You guys are awesome too. Thank you for coming up to us and talking with us. It's just been, even though we weren't posting, the amount of love that you guys show us is just astronomical. And we really do greatly appreciate everything that you guys do. So you want to close it out here?
I think so.
Okay. You can subscribe to the channel. I forgot how to do this. You can subscribe to the channel by clicking that little subscribe button that's down below. Click the bell that is right next to it. You'll get notified whenever we post a new video. You can also find us on social media, Facebook and Instagram. If you message us on Facebook, you will get me. If you message on Instagram, you will get Jessica. Jessica's a little bit harder to get responses to. But I've been trying to respond to everybody that sends us something, especially people who are asking any kind of questions about what's been going on with us. But I think it's all I got.
That's definitely all I got.
We will see you next time on Crocs in the Kitchen. Bye.